Hi, welcome back to Professional Business Solutions, the channel where I'm minding my business and yours too. I declare that everyone out there is staying warm and staying safe. We received some snow here in Texas overnight, and quite a few people are without power. So I'm thankful that I am one of the few households that do have power. So I decided to hop on here and give you a little short video on some of the tips and updates that I have been receiving, but just had not had time to get out there to you guys. Number one, I have done quite a few tax returns within the last few weeks, and there are some things that have been updated on the websites and on the e-filing. And one of the things that was included in the CARES Act from 2020 was using your 2019 earned income in order to figure your deductions and credits for your 2020 tax return. Normally, this will help a taxpayer out if their income was lower in 2020, and we do know that there were some people that were laid off, some businesses that closed down, and quite a few people was on unemployment. So of course their earned income was less in 2020 than it was in 2019. So the CARES Act has a clause in it that allows you to use your 2019 earned income in order to maximize your deductions and credits for your 2020 tax return. This could possibly give you a larger return or lessen the tax liability that you have. So for some people, it will be very useful. The second tip that I have is they are allowing you to add an extra $300 to your standard deduction by way of charitable contributions. For example, there are millions of people out there who pay tithes to their churches. Normally, they receive a letter or a statement showing how much their tithes that they paid for the year. They present that to their tax preparer, and the tax preparer puts it in their tax return. And you usually do not need to use it unless you are filing an itemized deduction schedule, which is on a Schedule A. The itemized deductions have to be more than what your standard deduction would be in order to use those deductions. So sometimes it doesn't help to use your charitable contributions or your tithing contributions from your church if you're not itemizing deductions. Well, this year the IRS is allowing you to carry at least up to $300 worth of those tithes on the front end of your tax return in your standard deduction, even if you do not itemize. So I've been noticing that it does give some of the taxpayers an extra $50 in their return or more. It just depends on what your situation is. And of course, everyone's tax return is different. But they are allowing you to take up to $300 worth of that charitable contribution or worth of that tithing that you paid to the church and put it on the front end of your tax return. Another thing that I noticed that I did not think about before the tax season started was some of my clients from Louisiana received hazardous pay. If you received hazardous pay, you should have received a Form 1099-G, which is from the government, from the state that you received hazardous pay in. This payment to you is called a taxable grant. So it could be taxable income on your tax return. If you receive that statement, you should report it to your tax preparer as income. Depending on what your situation is, it can or may not be taxable, but it is supposed to be included in your taxable income on your tax return. So if you received hazardous pay in 2020 by way of COVID and the CARES Act, you should present that Form 1099-G to your tax preparer, or if you are preparing your own tax return, you should include that 1099-G, the hazardous pay, in your return. The third thing is the Department of Education, which is something that's also included in the CARES Act. They will not be offsetting tax returns for people who owe past due student loans. So if you have been, if your return or your refund have been offset or intercepted by the Department of Education for past due student loans, whenever you prepare your tax return this year and you are due a refund, the Department of Education will not be offsetting those refunds. This came directly from the Department of Education's website. So this is something that I have researched and I have found. Number 5, the EIDL grant/loan is back on the table. There is a different process now. So you cannot go directly to the website, the SBA website, and apply for these loans/grants. The SBA will be forwarding emails to select businesses who they feel should qualify for these loans/grants. So if you receive an email from the SBA, respond to it, apply for it, or whatever. But you cannot go on the SBA website and apply for these loans and grants. They will be sending out 2 waves of emails. I have no idea how they're selecting the people or the businesses that they're choosing, but if you need more information, go to the sba.gov website and you will see Q&As, questions and answers, on their homepage for the EIDL grant/loan. Next, the stimulus. If you received a stimulus in 2020 and 2021, it must be reported on your tax return. If you received it, it is not taxable income, so do not worry about that. And I did confirm that once I started preparing the return, so it is not taxable. If you did not receive the full amount that you think you should have received or you didn't receive, you should put the difference between what you did receive and what you should have received. That will fall out on your tax return, and you should be refunded that amount in your return if you are due a refund. If you are not due a refund and you normally owe the IRS, what it will do is more than likely reduce the tax liability that you owe. You will not receive that money in hand, which is the downside of the people who did not receive it at all or only received a partial of it. You will not receive that money in hand. And if you owe taxes, all that money will do is reduce the tax liability that you owe. But if you are due a refund, you will receive the remaining balance of that stimulus in your refund. One thing that I did find out, because I did have several people texting, calling, inboxing, email me, and asking me, can their incarcerated family, friends, or loved ones, can they receive the stimulus? So I finally got a chance to speak with someone with the IRS, and yes, they are eligible to receive that stimulus. All you have to do is fill out the 1040, fill out the information, the contact information, and the information on line 30, even if they did not have income. I still do not know if we can submit that electronically, but other than electronic submission, you should print out the 1040 and submit it via mail. But you do have to fill out the contact information and put the information on line 30 pertaining to the stimulus. In order to expedite the payment, I strongly suggest that the person that you are filling the return out for either has a bank account to have it direct deposited, or get a prepaid card to direct deposit it on, or possibly a Cash App if they do not have Cash App. You can have your tax refund direct deposited on a Cash App card. There are other alternatives, but those are some, the Cash App card was the quickest thing, or the quickest way that I felt that they would be able to get that information, have that return prepared, and expedite their stimulus to them. If you have any questions or need any assistance or guidance on preparing that tax return for someone that was incarcerated, and not only if they're incarcerated, but if they were just recently released from incarceration, from prison, or from jail and did not receive it, they are still eligible to receive it as well. The same process pertains to them also. So if you have any questions on completing that form of the Form 1040, or have any questions at all about the stimulus, please give me a call, 281-742-0920, or schedule a 30-minute free consultation at www.pbs-thesolution.com. Last but not least, there are still some people who have not received their tax refund from 2020, which would have been their 2019 tax season tax return. I have one particular client who has really been going back and forth with two. One of them was finally resolved, and I did receive this piece of information from that individual. One person, they're still going back and forth with the IRS on their refund. They are due a refund, but there is a disconnect between them and the representatives who are answering the phone. By way of the IRS, if it has been a year or more and you have not received that refund, you must now call the IRS and request to speak to a tax advocate. Basically, this is just like a tax lawyer that is for the taxpayer to help expedite your tax refund. If it has been a year or more and you have not received your tax refund from 2020 for your tax year 2019 or any prior tax years, please call the IRS. Go past all of the representatives and ask them to connect you with a tax advocate. This is like a tax lawyer for you to help the taxpayer with the IRS, and they will expedite that return. They have a certain amount of time or a certain time frame to send those funds to you. Another flip side of it is, and I got this directly from the IRS, if you had not received that tax return between the time frame of April 2020 and December 31st, 2020, and you are supposed to receive a refund, the IRS also owes you interest on your money. Please request it, because they owe you interest on your money. If you are due a refund and you have not received it yet, once you speak with that tax advocate, you make sure you ask them about the interest that you are due on your tax refund. So those are some of the main things that I have, bullet points that I needed to relate to you guys. If you have any other questions or concerns, again, go to my website, www.pbs-thesolution.com. On the homepage at the bottom, there's a box that says contact me. If you just have a quick question, send an email via my website. Call me, text me, 281-742-0920. I may not reply right away because there are quite a few clients, and then this is tax season. I have other things that I do besides tax returns, so you have to understand. But I will get back to you in the order that I receive the notifications. But please utilize the website. Go on there. Sometimes I'm not updated on my tips, but I do try to get them, and that's why I said go to the contact us, and send an email via the website. I will try to put more information out there. There are some bigger things that I do have going on. I did post a short snippet of it on Facebook last week. So I received some good news from the IRS. And what this does is open doors for me to further my business, to expand my business. So prayerfully, I will be expanding by the tax season next year. And this year, I still will be able to purchase the software that I was so excited about purchasing, and I will be able to brand it with my own business name, The Solution. So I'm super excited about that. I hope you guys enjoy the videos. I hope you all take something from these videos. If it does not pertain to you and you know someone who needs to utilize this information, please direct them to my website. Direct them to the YouTube channel, my social media pages. Tag them on the social media pages or what have you. Send me their information. I'll be more than happy to assist them. So, bye for now, you guys. I'll talk to you later. Again, check me out on all my different platforms. And you all, again, stay safe.